Good morning, and what a morning that is. Welcome back to the YouTube. It is a lovely Saturday morning, nice and chilly, out getting some morning steps with Murphy. And I thought today I would do a full day of eating. I've never done one on here. I guarantee I'm going to forget at least a meal. And of my 6 meals, 4 of those are duplicates of one another. So it could be a little bit boring, but we'll try and make it as entertaining as I can. It's also a Saturday, so I'll be heading down to Hove for pull and legs somewhere late morning. And I'll obviously touch on the fact that weekdays I would not be training that time of the day. So how my food setup changes sort of weekdays to weekends. And yeah, I'll try and not make the whole video just me talking and eating, because I can't imagine anyone really wants that. If you do, maybe you're a little bit weird. It's a check-in day today. I was 94.9 kilos on the scales this morning, which is 0.8, maybe 0.9 up on last week's weight. So moving the right way, moving the direction we'd expect for this phase, the pushing back up for the second half of the year. So yeah, can't really complain. Food was upped mid-week, I believe, on Wednesday or Thursday. So yeah, a little bit of extra food, obviously, going through this second half of the year. My meals won't change. They haven't really changed throughout the first half of the year either. I'm pretty consistent with what I eat. I make it relatively easy to keep prepping food and just generally enjoyment of food straightforward. And yeah, so all that will really change across the year is the volume of carbs in those meals. So nothing really to expand on there. So I will finish up some steps here, get myself home, and make a start on meal 1 and talk you through what they look like. I can't get enough of this morning view. I really can't. First things first, after getting back from the walk, collagen peptides, fresh cherry flavour. Nice to just have a little bit of flavour first thing in the morning, if nothing else. So in they go. Right then, meal 1 is cream of rice and rice pudding. So I've been doing a 50-50 mix of the two, just to have a little bit of variety. Some days I go all rice pudding, some days I've gone all cream of rice, but the majority of the time I do 50-50. So I have 120 grams of the combination at the moment, so do 60 of each. And then I am using strong cream of rice at the moment as well. Got vanilla sugar cookie. So 120 grams of the combination in. If I were doing all rice pudding, then I would also use designer flavour powder. I've currently got tropical vanilla flavour and dark chocolate cherry. That dark chocolate cherry is brilliant. Protein wise, I'm using ESN whey isolate. Been trying to use isolate as much as possible just to keep my stomach as happy as possible. So 40 grams of whey with this meal. And I'll say now, I have this same meal later on in the day anyway, so we'll touch on it again then, but it is identical, like for like, same measurements, same everything. And it's also easy to have a lot of variety in flavours. You can change your whey flavour, you can change your cream of rice flavour. Some days I'll add cinnamon, which now I've said it, I'm going to add cinnamon today. Yeah, it's just easy to mix it up as much as you like and just keep it interesting, fresh, satiating, whatever you want to call it. So it's a nice easy meal to make as well. You can make it fresh. You make it at home, have it warm, you can make it cold or have it cold. Sometimes, like if I'm going to the office, I will make my first meal before I leave for work, and then it's a 45-minute drive there. I'll usually make it, put it in the fridge. By the time I get to work, it's basically cold. And it's quite nice like that as well. So yeah, it's versatile. You can have it as many ways as you like. It's definitely an easy one to have to take on the road with you if you're traveling anywhere. All you need is boiling water essentially to be able to make it. So it's pretty damn easy. So I don't actually measure out the water that I use. So I will now, just for the sake of the video, but I eyeball it completely honestly. I just go by consistency. So I'll just keep stirring as I add water until I feel like I know where the consistency is going. And if I need to add more water, I'll add more water. If I add a little bit too much, I'll just leave it longer to set. So either way, it's manageable. It's not that hard a meal to make. I don't know how I used to balls this up so much. First time I ever used rice pudding, I know how I did balls it up. First time I used rice pudding was post-show in 2024, I think. And we didn't have a kettle. Don't ask why, we just never had a need for kettle. So I tried to make it in a microwave and it was just a mess, honestly. The amount of times it overflowed out of a bowl was just painful. So yeah, I never got on with it, never really understood the hype about it. Then we got a kettle because I started making cream of rice with kettle. And now I understand it, it makes a lot more sense. So, I mean, there you go. So there was 120 grams of cream of rice and rice pudding, and I've added 330 grams of water. And that's probably about the consistency I'll have it. It's a little bit sloshy right now, but by the time I've added my dark chocolate and berries in a moment, that will set a little bit. So I think some people do just leave it to set for quite a while, but I'm fat, so I want to eat it. So as I said, next thing on here is some dark chocolate. So I'll have 20 grams with this meal. Break it up into nice little chunks. It will melt on the top as well, even better. I know some people like to add it as like a slab and then like leave it to melt properly. I used to make oats with dark chocolate on top, and then I'd put it back in the microwave with the dark chocolate just to melt across the top, and kind of spread it around and have like an even layer. But I kind of like the crunch, so I will just break it up like this and then get some berries. Every time the freezer opens, Murphy, straight in there. 50 grams of berries to add to this one. Blueberries for reference. So every meal of the day, I'll do 2 grams of salt, and I'll also add 2 grams of salt to my intra-workout, which, whilst I mention it, I'll make that now as well. When I say make it, I have most of it in the car, just so that if I'm traveling, then I've got everything with me. But I'll just have my dextrin from the cupboard. So 30 grams of cyclic dextrin into my intra, and I'll also weigh out the salt now, and then the rest of it I will just add in when I'm leaving for the gym. And it's also nice to leave this in the fridge before I leave so that it's actually cold for training, or at least relatively cold. That is that sorted. One less job to have to remember before leaving for the gym. And then the last thing to do is just make the whey drip, or sludge, whatever you want to call it. paste, it's the same thing. Watch me absolutely ruin this by not paying enough attention and add too much water. Oh, no. By the way, I forgot to mention, milk chocolate flavoured whey. I'm all out of designer wheys at the moment, which is kind of sad. I have got some more arriving. Might actually be today. I know I've got cinnamon cereal coming, which I've missed dearly. Leon cereal, also a fantastic flavour. But hopefully cinnamon cereal will actually arrive in time for this meal later on. But yeah, otherwise, I'd usually have a designer whey with this meal, and then ISO'd towards the back end of the day as food volume increases and as I want to make sure that digestion is good before I get into bed, just so that nothing's sitting too heavy in my stomach. Because sometimes if I've chased meals a little bit towards the back end of the day, on a weekday, then my post-workout meal is very close to my last meal, which they're both kind of whey based. So I don't like having too much whey back to back, and if I do, then I at least want it to be ISO rather than designer. It just feels like it's probably more mental for me, but in my head it should sit better, so I'd rather do everything I can to make sure it does. And then we have it, meal number one. Don't know how well you can see that, but to recap, 120 grams of cream of rice comboed with rice pudding, 40 grams of whey isolate, 50 grams of berries, 20 grams of dark chocolate, 2 grams of pink Himalayan sea salt. Meal number 2, and today this is pre-workout as well. So it is just gone 9 o'clock, so I'll probably try and get to the gym for around 10:30, 11ish. Get this in, take Murphy around the block and leave for the gym. It takes me about 25 minutes to get there. So yeah, about 10:30 hopefully, if I'm good at timing this. I have a rice cooker, but I've genuinely found it better to use a microwave rice cooker for rice. So I couldn't even tell you how long I've been doing this, like since before I won my pro card, so heading on for a year. But I will just have all of my rice cooked in this. If I'm going to the office, I'll cook it in this in a batch, split it out, and when I'm cooking it fresh, cook it in here, eat my meal out of here, because it makes a pretty decent bowl, especially during off seasons. So just checking, because food got increased, so I've actually forgotten what my pre-workout volume is. So pre-workout is 140 grams of rice. 140 grams in, add water. Again, same as the cream of rice. Water is eyeballed. Into the microwave for 9 minutes. Whilst I do that, chicken is pre-cooked. I bulk cook it in like 5 or 6 meals at a time, and then just store it in Tupperware in the fridge so that I can reheat it. In addition to the chicken, there are some other goodies in this meal. So disclaimer, the only bit that's in my meal plan is raisins. So 25 grams of raisins, and then the rest is because I like it. So first we have sauerkraut. I don't know if you can see that very well or not. Do that old trick. There you go. So I pretty much just do like 1 teaspoon of this, quite a heaped teaspoon, but that is about 20 grams that's just gone in. Next, sliced jalapenos. Again, if it will focus. Focus. It's jalapenos, take my word for it. This will be about 15 grams, exactly 15 grams. I haven't weighed these out before, by the way, so I'm completely guessing. So, the fact I got that right must mean I'm a bodybuilder. Next up, pickled beetroot. Again, try and get it to focus. There we go. This usually in the realm of probably 40 to 50 grams. Kind of depends on how well it's sliced in the pot, but that is 55 grams. And then finally, because I'm weird as hell, of gherkins. Again, focused? Can't even tell if that's focused, but gherkins. I usually get sliced ones so that I can add them in the meal. But they didn't have any sliced ones last time I went, so a whole one. And then one final thing, we have some courgette. I have pre-cooked for a meal later on as well. So this is 200 grams. I'll have 100 grams in each meal. I won't lie, don't know if my meal plan says 100 grams, but I've been having 100 grams ever since prep. My appetite's held up so well that I'd like to have 100 grams. Courgette doesn't like volumize massively, so it's not like it's a huge amount. I don't think you can really go wrong with having a little bit of extra veg, especially when food's high. So that is my little pot of goodies to go on top of the rice. As I mentioned, every single meal, 2 grams of pink salt. So just for the record, like this comes out like super nice and fluffy rice, and that's done in, well, it was 10 minutes in the microwave. So if you can't be bothered to cook rice like me, or at least have to deal with a rice cooker, I know how long it takes to cook. Granted, it's probably the same with a rice cooker, but I don't know, I just find this a hell of a lot easier. And I find that the rice is way more consistent, so definitely my preference. Anyhow, that is definitely running way out, which is a shame. I might have to get some more of that ordered. 2 grams of salt in on the rice, just it spreads a little bit nicer on the rice. And then the chicken and the veggies. And then, as this is a pre-workout meal, the missing puzzle piece of all squares bar. So 140 grams of dry weight rice, uncooked rice. It's 130 grams of raw chicken, or not raw chicken, it was raw at 130 grams, cooked now. 100 gram of courgettes, 25 grams of raisin, 15 grams of jalapeno, 20 grams of sauerkraut, 50 to 60 grams of beetroot, and a squares bar. 2 grams of salt as well. I'm pretty sure that was the full list, but I'll chuck it all up on screen for you as well. Pre-workout going in, and then we'll get to the gym. I mentioned earlier that I leave most of my intra in the boot, so to run through what is going in my intra, I've already got the 30 grams of cyclic dextrin, 2 grams of pink salt, I've got a scoop of creatine, standard, and also got a scoop of taurine going in now. And then we also have EAA Plus. I kind of rotate between 2, so I've got ESN Elite Aminos, don't know how well you can see that because it's very dark packaging, and then EAA Plus. I've been using this just because of the flavour very recently, honestly. So that, nice hefty scoop of that in. And then the last thing going in here is just some L-glutamine. All of that in a shaker. Give it a good shake and get on the road to the gym. See you there.
it's all my fault. Made you put down your guard. I know I made you fall and said you were wrong for me. I lied to you, I lied to you, I lied to you. Can't hide the truth, I stayed with her in spite of you. You did some things that you regret, still right for you. Cause this house is not...
It is 10 to 2. I've been at the gym far too long. Post-workout is prepared in a Tupperware because otherwise I get very hungry on the way home. We have 170 grams of cereal, 40 grams of whey, 2 grams of salt, and there should be 50 grams of berries in here, but I use frozen berries and therefore they wouldn't be very frozen anymore, and they go all weird and soggy when they defrost. So I'll leave them out, put an extra 50 grams of berries in my next berry meal, and yeah. Good session though. I've missed being down at Hove. It's been a while since I've been here, just for, I can't remember where I was last weekend. Last weekend was the pro show, so I trained at Rip Gym. The weekend before that was maybe at Crawley, and the weekend before that I think we were in Tenerife, and the weekend before that I think I was at Crawley. So I think it's been over a month since I've been here. The app had uninstalled it on my phone, so that's definitely been a while. But yeah, nice to get back here, nice to get back into the routine of training here. I forgot to pay my dart charge, so the penalty notice has turned up at the house. I don't know if you'll be able to see that though. Chloe has kindly sent me a photo. Murphy has decided to destroy it, so dog ate my homework situation. Can't pay my dart charge bill. What can I do? Meal number 4, exactly the same pretty much as meal number 1. 120 grams of cream of rice and rice pudding, 40 grams of whey, 100 grams of berries, 50 grams from the post-workout, 20 grams of dark chocolate, and the 2 grams of salt. Quite literally, rinse and repeat. Simplicity is kind of key at this point, but as I said before, switch up the flavours. Makes it nice and fresh every single time. So
I'm trying not to be biased, but the reason I said what I said was comparing to the...
Right, showered, feel a little bit more human again after a couple of meals. But we are going to head out down to the beach for a little walk with Murphy, I think. So I'm going to prep my next meal so that I'm ready to go, can take it with me, have it at some sort of rough time. Next meal, very imaginative. Last meal was obviously identical to meal 1. This one's going to be identical to meal 2. There is a slight difference to the weight in the rice. So earlier was 140 grams. This is 120 grams of rice, and no Rice Krispies Square in this one. Microwave rice cooker coming in clutch again. Once again, pre-cooked chicken already in a nice friendly Tupperware pot for me, along with the courgette that I cooked earlier on. So 130 grams of chicken and 100 grams of courgette, and I'll add all my goods. Succeeded at not getting beetroot on my t-shirt, and that is pretty much it. So I'll get the rice out and add it to this shortly. But that'll be my meal. Just take it with me. Nice and easy. Can't go wrong. Again, I know that 4 out of my meals are essentially the same thing, but it's just easy. Like, same volumes of meat to cook 650 grams of chicken at a time. It does 5 meals, so I can batch cook 5 meals at one go, and everything else is just straightforward. Rice in the microwave, doesn't take too long. I know exactly when it'll be finished because it reminds me, and yeah, everything just it all sits well with me. So if I know that a food sits well with me, I might as well just stick with it long term. Don't need to overcomplicate it. I can get flavour through the greens, and same with the rice pudding meal. I can just switch it up with different flavours of flavour powders, cream of rice to mix in, whey, different berries, cinnamon over the top. Like, there are enough ways to keep your meals interesting that you don't need to be changing them every 5 minutes. And I don't know how long I've been running this meal plan, but it's been a long time. My last meal, which we'll get to a little bit later on, has changed a couple of times, but I think otherwise my meals have probably been the same for well over a year, if not even longer. And even if they have changed, they've pretty much been the same meals. They've just kind of changed order. Maybe there's been one meal that's kind of gone in for something else. I had crumpets at some point. I had wraps in at some point when my appetite was gone. But yeah, right now this works. And I was pushing 900 grams carbs peak off season first time around this year, and I was quite happily still eating everything with all the greens, all the berries. Nothing was being missed. It was going down super easy. So yeah, why change what's not broken? Straight in. I'll let it cool down a little bit before I lid her up, and that is ready to go to the beach with. So 120 grams of dry weight rice, 130 grams of chicken, 100 grams of courgette, 50 grams of beetroot, 25 grams of raisins, 15 grams of sauerkraut, 15 grams of jalapenos. I think that was it. 2 grams of salt. Meal 5. Right then, last meal of the day. Nice and simple one. First of all, 0% yogurt. So this is just a light meal to finish off. Little bump of protein, little bump of fats before bed, and some sweetness just to curb the sweet tooth for the day again. So doing 250 grams of yogurt, and then we'll get onto the other bits in a moment. As it's the last meal, I'm going to use ISO whey rather than designer whey, just to make sure the stomach's happy overnight. Using just 15 grams of whey for this meal. Obviously, protein in the yogurt too, so there's that. As with all the other meals, 2 grams of pink salt. Got 100 grams of berries for this meal. Do half and half, some blueberries and some raspberries. Have to fight Murphy out of the freezer in a second now. And then last thing going into this one is 30 grams of dark chocolate. So there we have it, final meal of the day, 250 grams of yogurt, 15 grams of whey, 2 grams of salt, 100 grams of berries, and 30 grams of dark chocolate. Nice way to just round off the day's meals. Nothing heavy to go to bed with. This is also nice and cold before bed, especially where it's warmer weather. Yogurt and berries was like my prep go-to after shows. There wasn't a show that I didn't do and then go straight to a supermarket to find a yogurt and some berries. So always hits home. There's a lot of reminiscent prep things in here, but you know, that is a full day of eating done. Remembered every single meal. Look at that. I will chuck the macros for the day up on the screen. I don't know what they are. I just work off a meal plan. So yeah, it'll be a surprise to me along with everyone else. Day done. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.